You record.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Once upon a time, there was a world full of laughter. Then a virus hit, and the whole thing was a disaster. But we got a show to let you know it's alright. It's alright. Even though it's only once a week, we guarantee you a front row seat at the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show once a week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show, the show we put together every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for your enjoyment. As you do know, the Comedy Cellar, which I was at last night, minus Colin Smith, that's a dig at him, is open for business. The 3 or 4 rooms at this point are open at, I think, 33% capacity for now. Maybe it's up to 50%, but the fact is, it's open, and you can see it live comedy again. As I saw last night, not Colin, but Noam and the rest of the fellows playing in the band. I saw live music last night in Manhattan, and it was quite thrilling. So the Comedy Cellar is open for business, but we love doing this little show to have our Comedy Cellar friends on, and tonight is no exception. We've got a great show for you tonight. So let's go to the prepared material, shall we, and open the show a little bit. Well, what's in the news today? Let's see. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez have rekindled their romance 17 years after breaking off their engagement. No one is happier for the couple than Congressman Matt Gaetz, because now he isn't the first search result when you Google 17-year-old relationship. A Chinese safari park was criticized for not alerting authorities that 3 leopards have been on the loose in a residential area for nearly a month. Luckily, no residents were harmed because they've all been safely locked inside the local factory, fastening little plastic tips to shoelaces, because that's what they do. And finally, a black man in Los Angeles disguised himself as a white guy to commit over 30 burglaries. Police are questioning the man to find out where the other Wayans brother is hiding out. All right. Let's introduce our panel this evening. She is the Oscar-winning living legend Dynamo who never knew how to not entertain. You can see her live in Madison, Wisconsin this weekend at Comedy on State. Please welcome for the first time, Liza Minnelli, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with my friends.
And he has appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, WTF with Mark Maron, and The Conan O'Brien Show. His podcast is called Scary Monsters, and it's available on iTunes. Please welcome back to the program, Nick Griffin, everybody.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you for yet another invite.
Oh, my pleasure, of course. And his new single, The Tree, came out 2 weeks ago, and you can purchase it on iTunes as well as your other favorite streaming music places. Please welcome, as always, Mr. Colin Smith, everybody.
Hi. Hi.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the show. This is fantastic. I mean, Liza, this is a real honor.
Well, I'm so excited to be here, and I'll remember
it.
Are you, I mean, how have you been doing? Nobody's heard from you for, with COVID and everything. I mean, how were you holding up?
I'm doing just fine. I had sort of a routine during I see all my friends at Sardi's. We would hug and share drinks. And it was really a lot of fun. I have a knee replacement. I had brain encephalitis, but I'm going to go on tour. A mall tour like the 80s.
Well, sure, of course. That's the big thing these days. The mall tour is the way to go.
I must say that I'm so excited. And also, I feel like our little podcast, is so blessed that this would be the moment that you take to,
announce the big tour.
Announce the big tour. Also, just, be visible and
to appear.
We get access to you. Thank you so much. I feel
it's high honor.
Yeah, high honor.
But I'll tell you why.
What is it?
Because during quarantine, my sister Lorna was doing something called Cameo. I hate my sister Lorna.
We've heard that through the years, yeah. So that's where it ends.
Is that the story?
Yes.
Nick, I saw you didn't have any dates to promote yet. I know you were out. You've been out on the road. When's your next live performance?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I kind of been lulled into a little bit of a slowdown period. I did the Blue Room in Springfield, Missouri 2 weeks ago, and I'm waiting probably till September before I go out, I think, unless it's a small one-nighter near this area. But yeah, I know. I'm glad you pointed out that I'm not working.
I didn't mean it that way. I think the thing is, the last time you were one of the first guys I know to be going back and traveling again. That's why I was surprised that it.
Yeah, just not a lot right now.
But of course, you can see Nick almost every night at the Comedy Cellar. So
that's right.
Everybody can come see you perform. All right, let's share the screen and go to the slideshow presentation. Will open with the one that everybody's talking about, of course. This is you've probably all seen this picture, the giant Bidens against the Carter folks. And I mean, Liza, you've met so many presidents. Is this a thing where presidents and their wives start to shrink after a while?
Well, it reminds me of my mother and my father. My father, Vincent Minnelli, who was a director for MGM Studios, and my mother, who was so funny. People know about Mom, she was really funny, but she was only 2 feet tall. And one time, I remember I woke up and there was an ice rink outside. And my father said, "There's an ice rink," and I started to skate. And I noticed the ice was lumpy and screaming. I said, "Daddy, this ice is lumpy." He said, "That's your sister, Lorna."
Wow, that's something else. Well, you know, a lot of presidents do end up shrinking, as you can see. Also, Bill Clinton was shrinking. These are the
wow
the bunch of pictures with really tall people that seem to shrink.
Yeah, that's Dikembe.
Yeah,
it is Dikembe Mutombo. No,
not in my house.
This happened yesterday. A joint Navy Coast Guard operation discovered a weapon seizure so big, as you can see, covered the rear deck of this warship. And when you're talking about these warships that are big, they usually hold King Kong. So they're pretty big.
For nap time.
Liza, you never got to work in any of the King Kong stuff. You never got to be the Fay Ray to. Were you ever asked to do anything like that?
I auditioned for the role of King Kong. It was the remake in 2007. And I came in, I said, I've prepared a song. And it went something like this. Bananas. Said no.
How did they say no to that? That's unbelievable.
But I did play a shrub.
This is the new, it just opened, the world's largest suspension bridge in Portugal. This is what how much it spans. I would never go on one of these because I would always assume the thuggy guards were behind me and Mola Ram and if you don't have a machete with you, you can't get out of the situation. So
right.
That's that. Liza, I know you never got to work with Steven Spielberg at all, I guess.
Well,
but
not publicly. I worked with him privately.
Oh, that's big news.
I'm hugely afraid of heights. I could never do that.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that either. Yeah, it would be pretty messed up. This happened last week or a couple days ago. Nancy Pelosi put this lovely tweet about celebrating Willie Mays' 90th birthday, but unfortunately, that's not Willie Mays. That's his teammate Willie McCovey, and they mixed up the black people.
One of the black Willies they
retweeted with the actual Willie Mays. It was a complete mistake that somebody in her position should not do in this time.
But it's on brand.
But I just want to say that her brooch is from the Liza Minnelli collection.
I think you might be right.
Remember, the woman should wear the dress, not the dress.
This is a really stupid kid who got, I don't know if you heard about this, he got stuck in a barrel. This is the kid at the hospital, and they got stuck in the barrel and they had to get him out. They live in Portland, Tennessee.
Andy was attacked by a bear, which is very sad.
No, like Winnie the Pooh. But these are his parents, and then it all explains why he would get stuck in a barrel, because he's wearing a Robin hat. Robin from Batman.
Gotcha.
Who wears Robin? I don't know. This all made sense to me why that kid got stuck. They don't look too bright. This is in Tennessee, and this is in Texas, where also they don't seem too bright because they're still doing these. This guy won the Indy car race at the Texas Motor Speedway, and they're still doing the gun shooting like the rich Texan guy, The Simpsons. I mean, they make fun of that. It's unbelievable. This is Keith Haring's refrigerator from the 80s when he lived on Broome Street. It's up for auction.
So cool.
A lot of the signatures like Jean-Michel Basquiat are on there. And if we zoom in down here is Madonna's signature. And Liza, I was wondering, were you ever asked to sign his refrigerator? Were you down there at all during the 80s? I feel like you might have been.
Well, I remember that I was putting down a couple of lines, but after that and a few, I don't remember much.
Yeah, that tended to happen a lot in the 80s too. I'm pretty sure all these people were doing that exact same thing.
But I love that fridge. It's so fun and so chic. I have one.
You have a refrigerator?
Yes, I have one in my upstairs and one in my basement. It's full of celery.
I know Liza's busy because I saw the promotion for the new miniseries on Netflix. Halston is coming out soon. The fashion designer miniseries with Ewan McGregor, and I saw a couple shots of the lovely Liza Minnelli.
That's right. And I had asked to audition for the role of myself. And for some reason, they said no. So they hired Hugh Jackman instead.
Well, he is good. I mean, he's pretty talented. He's a major talent.
Oh, he's so funny. He is so funny.
That's what most people say when they talk of Hugh Jackman, how hilarious he is. This is the Kentucky Derby winner, the horse named Medina Spirit. And as you may or may not have heard, now they're all talking that it failed the drug test and that the race might not be legal anymore. And I was just wondering, I know, Liza, you like to go to the track because here's a picture of you and the very handsome Desi Arnaz Jr.
Yes, he's so funny. And he was my best friend. It was really funny. I remember one time I was going to the racetrack and somehow I ended up behind a gate. And I just remember someone very small sitting on my back. And at one moment, they shot a gun, and I ran. And I ran so far. I won the Kentucky Derby in 1979.
I think I remember. I think I bet on that. But you,
and I also failed my drug test.
I guess that's why it's not in the history books. Yeah. Here you are with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and I feel like you're baiting the two of them of who's getting the most attention. You can see De Niro getting a little pissed. You're favoring Al Pacino a little bit. I mean, why do you got to tease like that?
I just want to say I've always loved gay men.
Liza, I don't think those two are gay.
I said what I said.
How did this happen? Do you have any explanation for the Scott Baio romance?
Well, after a couple of shots, anyone will become a lesbian.
No, again, Liza, I think you're missing the point here. He's not, this is a man who, the famous Scott Baio from Charles in Charge. You stand by your statement. Now this is
that's Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. He's so funny. He was the flower girl at mine and David Guest's wedding.
Apparently.
I
Which
was
is
so happy that day. I remember Elizabeth Taylor lost her shoe, and we had to wait for them to retrieve it. And Joy Behar was there.
I was actually in Joy Behar's apartment once for Christmas, and she has a prized possession in a glass case in her sitting room that is one of your mother's journals.
Ooh.
Ooh, cool.
I can read extra from my mother's journal right now.
Oh, I'd love that.
Oh, I'd love that.
Sort of open it up.
Yeah.
It says, Liza, call an ambulance.
Well, we're lucky to be privy to that kind of stuff. It's amazing. And
Nick
Nick knows a lot of famous people. Here he is with Ronnie Schnell. Of course, I thought you were with Ronnie Shell, and that's why I had the picture up, but I was mistaken. This is not this guy?
No, it's
You're
not.
saying there's a Ronnie Shell and a Ronnie Schnell.
No, this is Howie Nave.
Oh, who's Ronnie Schnell?
I don't know. Ronnie Shell used to work at that club that I'm at right there, and he probably just is wrongly named in the picture.
Ah, well, that would make sense. And here's Ronnie Shell.
People make mistakes, Dave.
I don't know anything about that, but here he is with Goldie Hawn on a TV series, and here's you, Liza, with Goldie Hawn. The connection is unbelievable.
Oh, this is a special we did when we sang the melody to Chicago. We started with all that jazz.
Yep, I remember it. It's a classic.
Were you very fond of Goldie Hawn?
I thought she was swell. She was funny.
Certainly look close there.
Now this makes sense. The beautiful Michelle Pfeiffer as a pink lady. Mm-hmm. This makes no sense. This is Liza's sister. You what?
I've never seen that woman before.
This is your sister, Liza.
I have a brother, Joey.
But this is your sister. For somehow she got in the movie Grease too. How did that happen?
I have one father, one mother, and my brother Joey, who's my half brother. I have a half sister in Mexico. My father married again.
Well, yeah, I guess. But of course, somehow you're related to this woman here.
Dave, how many times have you seen Grease 2?
Well, not as much as I've seen Grease.
Of course.
But I will watch it because of this.
Yeah.
She's just pretty and cool. And when she comes on, I usually turn it off. In fact, all the other characters, including Adrian Smed, I don't know how he became the John Travolta. What is he, about 4'5"? Yeah, none of that works. But this is Nick's podcast, which nobody ever told me. But when did you start doing this?
I don't know, 2 years ago.
How come I never heard of it? You never mentioned it.
Who
the hell is Lori Palmentary?
Lori Palmentary, you know Lori Palmentary. She's good friends with Colin. She's a comic.
Not this.
Colin. I don't like movies.
Not that. I'm sorry, not that Colin. Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was friends with Colin Smith. If she's good looking, she'd be friends with Colin Smith. You're saying?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know whether
she's lovely.
She seems good looking in that picture, but it's a cartoon, so you never know. I don't really care for scary movies. That's why I really didn't care for Rent-A-Cop, which is, of course, a Bert and Liza classic.
I auditioned to be in the movie Alien in 1977.
You auditioned to play one of them.
They said the role of the ship was already taken by a model.
What song did you sing in the audition?
Face huggers come for you. Look out, an egg's inside of you, and burst in laughter, an alien friend.
How did you not get that role? I mean, that's like
Shocking.
Just 7 years after your Oscar. It seems like anything you wanted would be yours, especially with a killer song like that.
Face
That must have had
hugger.
a bad
That's a
agent.
gem.
Yeah, clearly. Here is where you are playing this weekend in Wisconsin. There's the club. Look how beautiful this is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's called Comedy on State. No, I think it's this one over here, Liza.
Oh, so fun.
They have live, but doesn't this look nice? I've never been to Wisconsin before. It looks like a pleasant place to be. And I don't know whether you know, but next year is the 50th anniversary of the classic legendary TV show Liza with a Z.
It's Liza with a Z, not Lisa with an S, because Lisa with an S goes not Z. It's M-L-I. Liza!
Wow, what an honor. This is great. What do you have anything planned for the 50th anniversary?
Being alive.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. Right. And finally, your thoughts.
Well, I think I don't.
You have no thoughts. I didn't care for this movie that much. I didn't think it was that great a portrayal of your mom. I feel Renee Zellweger didn't give the honor that your mother deserves.
Well, thank you so much. Mama was so funny. She made a great London broil.
It seems like everybody in your life is really funny.
Oh, they're so funny.
How was Scott Baio? Was he up there with really funny people?
I don't. All I remember was Cologne.
Well, Liza, this is the part of the show where we let our resident musician, Colin Smith, sing a little song. If you don't mind, hanging around just a tiny bit longer.
Of course.
Colin's going to play us off, as you might say then.
My mic is sagging a little bit here. I need a new mic.
You said your mic, right? Okay,
my
sorry.
mic, yeah. So we'll adjust accordingly. Why don't I do that? So I was thinking, of course, I always leave it to the last minute to decide what I'm going to play. So I'm going to play a song from an older EP, and it's not as on brand for me because it's quite uplifting and positive. And I was just thinking that Liza inspires this kind of a.
Excellent.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, here we go. Oh, are we good? No. There we go. What happens when the sun comes out and moves his hand to spread the clouds? What will you do with all the doubt? Surely you've no use for now. No reason for to hang about. No promise made to tie you down. No oath you swore to not be proud. So smile, 'cause baby you're allowed. And don't make it hard, especially your heart. Paint the sky a color that you like. Fill it with the things you find. Things that mind you keep in mind. When it's not making sense, there are no accidents. It's all in your mind, in your mind. Perception of your life before shit makes almost every memory sore.
That's like me with a man in bed.
Skin on your hands and leaves is raw. Keep going. You're rebelling your desire for more. But daylight's here to help you out. Let daylight in and drown the drought. See what you couldn't find somehow. It's right behind you, turn around. And don't make it hard, especially your heart. Paint the sky a color that you like. And fill it with the things you find. Things that find you mind. When it's not making sense, you're running back to dance. It's on your mind, in your mind. What if we are heading for the
was paid to tie you down. No wolf, you swore to not be proud. So smile, 'cause baby, you're allowed. And don't make it hard, especially your heart. Paint the sky the color that you like. Fill it with the things you like. Things that bind you mind. When it's not making sense, there are no accidents. It's all in your mind. In your mind.
It was so good.
Thank you
It
very
reminded
much.
me a lot of Sammy Davis Jr., who I called Uncle.
Uncle Sammy. Yeah,
Um,
Colin, you're like a young Sammy Davis Jr.
yeah, I've gotten that before.
I bet.
That was great,
that
Colin.
was
Thank you very
that
much.
was wonderful. And you can of course see Colin normally
Yeah, this
every
coming
Monday at the Comedy Cellar. What happened yesterday? Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, I had a thing.
I'm sorry. It's just funny. I went down. I was like, "Oh, let me support Colin." And he doesn't show up, but but it was. I got to tell you, it was great. It was great seeing live music again, and the other members of your band are pretty good too. When Noam, the owner, ironically, one wouldn't think the owner would be that musically talented of someplace, but I don't see Bud Friedman ever doing anything like that. But he's really good. And who's
Yeah.
your buddy, Nick?
Nick Casarino,
Nick Casarino was great. And who's that other guy who was there?
Raj, probably Raj Mason.
Raj from What's Happening?
Sure.
Okay. But anyway, they were terrific last night, and they're going to be there every Monday, I think at 9:00 at the Olive Tree upstairs. And Liza, you are going to be in Wisconsin this weekend.
Yes, performing.
I mean, what can we expect? I mean, what kind of show are we going to see?
Just a lot of the softer side of Sears.
Also, do you have? I know you were singing at some of the clubs here in the city. Do you have anything else you would like to promote that's coming up?
I'll be performing at Applebee's next Tuesday.
Well, that's a lucky break for those people there. I'm sure they would really appreciate Liza coming in.
Thank you.
And Nick can be seen at the Comedy Cellar and his podcast, Scary Monsters, right?
That's right.
And it's all a podcast on scary movies. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's basically a scary movie. We watch one scary movie a week.
That's fun.
Cool. What's your favorite scary movie, Nick?
That's a good question.
Pardon me, it's probably The Exorcist, but there's so many.
I don't like talking about that one.
What's your favorite like modern scary movie?
God, I'm gonna go with The Strangers with Liv Tyler.
That movie.
That
I
scared
could
the
not
crap
sleep-
out of me.
Scared the bejesus out of me. That is brutal. that movie,
You know what
yeah.
I've been watching like nonstop is Dr. Sleep. I know it's not that scary.
Oh
but
yeah, how is it?
I loved it. I've seen it now. I've seen it like 5-6 times.
Yeah,
'cause
it's not bad. I like
the
it.
villain
Ewan
girl in it
McGregor.
is really sexy.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying watching it, and I like Ewan McGregor, right? I think
Right,
that's,
yeah.
in it. And it's
and Liza,
Liza.
what's your favorite scary movie, Liza?
Probably Chucky 7.
Liza, you are obviously an American treasure.
Yeah.
You're amazing, and you know what? You're really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And I just cannot thank you enough for coming on this show. It's a real honor, Nick. It's always great to see you. Thank you
Thank
again
you,
for
sir.
doing
Thanks
it.
for having me.
And Colin, you can get his new song on iTunes and hear a lot of his work on iTunes. And he's got a new song coming out shortly as well.
Yeah.
And you can see him on Mondays.
Why not?
So anyway, that is our show for this week, everybody. Make sure you join us next week at 7:00 here on Tuesday at the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show, where we have Wayne Fetterman, who just wrote a new book entitled The History of Stand-Up Comedy, from Mark Twain to Dave Chappelle, and the consummate host of the Las Vegas Comedy Cellar showroom, Mark Cohen. will be joining us, speaking of the history of stand-up comedy, for those of you who know better. And in 2 weeks, we are welcoming back to the program the amazing Wendy Liebman and Marina Franklin. So that's lots of fun stuff on the coming weeks, the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. Always come down to the Comedy Cellar whenever you can. It is open for business, and we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Wonderbar. Bye, guys.
Jazz.